Hey, everybody. Welcome to the podcast and happy Tuesday to you. I hope you're having a good week. Now, today we've got three stories. Anthropic just made Claude available inside of Excel, Word, PowerPoint, and Outlook. DoorDash is using AI to build websites and edit menu photos for restaurants. And Anthropic announced teaming up with Goldman Sachs and Blackstone to create a $1.5 billion AI consulting company aimed at mid-sized businesses. Hi, I'm Marcus Netto, and I spend most of my time helping small business owners figure out where AI is going to provide the biggest return for their businesses. If that sounds useful, hit subscribe. Now, today, Anthropic announced that Claude works inside of Microsoft 365. This isn't as a separate app you switch to. It works inside of Excel, Word, PowerPoint, and Outlook. They've released add-ons for all four, and they should be available now. Now, here's the part that got my attention. It carries context across all four apps at the same time. An example of how you'd use this would be you could be working in Excel on a client's quarterly numbers, ask Claude to pull up the key takeaways, and then have it drop those into a PowerPoint deck without you copying and pasting anything between windows. Another example would be if you're reading through a long email thread in Outlook, and you ask it to draft a summary and put it into a Word doc you can send to your team. For anyone running a small business who lives in Microsoft Office, and that's a lot of you, this is a pretty big deal. You're not learning a new tool, you're not switching tabs, you're working where you already work, and now there's an AI sitting right there with you. I've been saying for a while that the AI tools that win are the ones that meet people where they are. Nobody wants another login. Nobody wants another dashboard. They want the tools they already use to just get smarter. And that's exactly what this is. They also announced 10 pre-built AI agents specifically for financial services. Things that can draft pitch decks, review financial statements, flag compliance issues, and Moody's is embedding their credit data directly into Claude, covering over 600 million companies. That's a bit more enterprisey, but it tells you how fast these integrations are moving. Okay, now let's talk about one that's really practical if you're in the restaurant business or any kind of local retail. DoorDash just rolled out a bunch of AI tools for their merchants. The headline feature is AI-powered websites. If you're a restaurant on DoorDash, you can now take your menu, your branding, and your existing photos and build you a branded website for direct ordering. They're saying setup goes from hours to minutes, and merchants using these sites are seeing conversion rates around 10%, which is pretty incredible. They also added AI photo editing for menu items. There are three modes: one that retouches your existing photos, one that replaces the plate and background to make things look a little more professional, and one that matches the style across the whole menu so everything looks consistent. And it does all of that without changing how the food itself looks. It's pure magic. Now, say you run a restaurant and you took all of your menu photos on your phone in different lighting over the past 2 years. Half of them look decent, half of them don't match. Well, now you can clean all of that up without hiring a photographer or learning Photoshop. The onboarding piece is worth mentioning too. You point DoorDash at your existing website and it pulls your hours, your menu, your photos, and builds your listing automatically. They're saying merchants are launching 35% faster. This is the kind of AI that small business owners actually feel, not some abstract productivity gain. You go from not having a website to having one in minutes. You go from mismatched menu photos to a clean, consistent look in minutes. That's a real time saver. Okay, last one for today is less about product launch and more about where the money is going. And I think that matters. Anthropic just announced a joint venture with Blackstone, Goldman Sachs, and a bunch of other folks for about $1.5 billion. $1.5 billion. They're creating a standalone company that will send Anthropic engineers directly into businesses to help them build AI into their operations. Now, the initial targets are the portfolio companies that these private equity firms own. We're talking about regional hospitals, community banks, mid-sized manufacturers, retail chains, the kinds of businesses that know they need AI but don't have an engineering team to build it. Each of the big three is putting in roughly 300 million, with Goldman at about 150 million. General Atlantic, Apollo, and Sequoia, and a few others are also in. Now, what that does is it gives them a pre-built client pipeline across hundreds of companies. Now, here's why I think that matters for the rest of us. This is basically Anthropic building a consulting arm, but instead of sending you a slide deck and a strategy recommendation, they're sending you engineers who actually build the thing. That's a model that can scale down to smaller businesses over time. Right now, it's aimed at mid-market private equity portfolio companies, but the playbook they're building, embed people, redesign workflows, integrate AI into the actual day-to-day, that's going to trickle down. And it tells you something about where Anthropic thinks the real money is. Not just selling the subscriptions, not just selling access to a model, but selling the implementation. That's the hard part for most businesses, and they're going straight at it. And honestly, it's the reason why I started this channel, because I live with day to day with a lot of small business owners and understand the plight. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. I hope you got something out of this. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps out a lot. Till tomorrow, ciao.